The weakest operators in R6 history, starting off with Sins. Sins released in a completely broken state because their ROU projectors barely did anything for the team. Their hitboxes were extremely large, which made it hard for you to properly line up their walls. They could be easily countered by a Jaeger, mute, or even impact grenades, and you also couldn't toggle them on and off like you can right now, which meant that if you threw a bad wall, it was permanently going to be in the way of your teammates. And Tachanka was in a very similar boat. Not only did Tachanka release with the game extremely weak because of the fact that his LMG forced him to be stationary, but when they reworked him and gave him a fireball launcher, it was also really bad. The fireballs have a really small radius, which means that the attackers can very easily run through them, and even after multiple buffs, they're still not very good, and they also don't deal enough damage to opponents. And because of how slow Tachanka's fireball launcher's animations are, you can very easily get killed in the process of using it. And Alibi also released an extremely weak state, and she still is quite weak today. The only thing that's good about Alibi is her guns. The rest of her kit is really bad. She doesn't have good secondary gadgets. Her actual gadget is extremely weak because they don't really catch attackers off guard, because her clones don't copy her skins, and they also don't have any sort of idle animation. So if you just look in the direction of her clones, you can very easily tell whether they're the real her or not. The only reason why people pick Alibi nowadays is because she's a 3-speed with a good gun, but Ubisoft desperately needs to rework her because of how weak she is. There have been so many updates in Siege that have affected the game's balancing, and that's why in this video I showed you